So what countries are you going to send all these phones onto? She said, countries? I said, yeah, you just said 2 million people. She goes, Ashton, what rock are you living under? This is just here in Australia. And I was shocked. I was floored. And I said, Janine, that cannot be right. Like I feel I know a lot of people, and I know one person who's a victim.
Hi there, it's PJ Patterson, chairman of the Independent Finance Brokers Forum, and I am joined by Ash Wood of DV Safe Phones. And Ash, please tell us, what is DV Safe Phone?
Thanks, PJ. Thanks for having me on here. Look, DV Safe Phones, a charity I started up about 5 years ago when an ex-police senior sergeant here in Australia told me she desperately needed phones to give to domestic violence victims. And at the time, I had no idea that was even a problem in Australia. In fact, I thought I knew one person who was a victim. And I said, oh, yeah, well, I've got 2 phones here in my drawer. You can have them right away. And how many more do you need? And she said, what do you mean? I said, I come from corporate IT. There's literally everyone I know has got a phone in their drawer from an upgrade. They didn't have to do with the old one. So how many do you want? And I'm thinking to myself, 80 phones, 100 phones or something like that. And she said, you will never get me enough phones. I'm like, well, really? Let's see about this. So I said, look, I'll put the call out to everyone I know. I'll go out to my LinkedIn network and the corporates and just see. But I want to be really clear with everyone, like, how many do you really need? And she said, well, there's over 2 million victims of domestic violence. I'm like, 2 million? That's a huge number. All right, well, I can't guarantee 2 million phones, but let's just see. But I want to be clear with people. You're saying there's 2 million victims, but they're going to want to know where these phones are going to end up. So what countries are you going to send all these phones onto? She said, countries? I said, yeah, you just said 2 million people. She goes, Ashton, what rock are you living under? This is just here in Australia. And I was shocked. I was floored. And I said, Janine, that cannot be right. Like I feel I know a lot of people, and I know one person who's a victim. One. And she said, you would be very surprised at who in your network has been through it, is going through it, or knows someone who has. And so I went out on my LinkedIn network and said, come on, everyone, send me your old phones and let's see what we can do here. And I was shocked at how many people came back and said, good on you. I've been a victim, my mum, my sister, my brother. And I'm like, wait, we've worked together for years and you've never mentioned this. And most people come back and say, well, when would we mention it? Like, it's just not the kind of thing, when's a good time to bring it up? What are you going to do about it? Why even tell you? So I've realized that domestic violence is at epidemic proportions here in Australia. As I said, when I started this, it was 2 million victims and a woman a week was being killed and a man a month in Australia. 5 years on, it's now 3.8 million victims, known victims, and a woman's killed every 4 days. So the stats are getting worse, not better. So running this charity, it's all about spreading the word like what you're doing with me today. So it's putting it out there and telling people about this need with a tangible, real thing we can do to help, which is we collect old mobile phones, we test them, and we give them for free to over 400 police stations, safe houses, and hospitals. So we've given out 12,500 phones so far in 5 years, and we're now on track to be giving away over 100 every single week. And that's across Australia. And the service is completely free. So it's, your industry finance, right? It's if any of your people had a look at our business plan, you go, this is the worst business plan I've ever seen, because we don't charge for these phones. They're free. So we get the phones in. We're putting batteries in about 40 phones a day that we're paying for. We're paying for full-time technicians, rent for the office we're in, postage, SIM cards, charger cables, the lot. And as far as I'm concerned, it needs to stay free. So our entire model is trying to find dollars to do this through partnerships, through grants, through donations, through philanthropists, but also getting the phones given us for free, which the phone side's starting to work quite well. So ASIC have just come on board. And, if ASIC can find a way to do this, then there's no reason why anyone couldn't. And they've given us 1,400 phones from their network that they would have disposed of in other ways until someone internally said, why don't we give these to a charity?
Yeah,
So, yeah, so
that's
that's how it
amazing.
works.
That's some shocking statistics that you've just mentioned there. And so I mean, the issue is domestic violence, and what happens to, or how does this help solve the problem? How does getting a phone that's been reconditioned, recycled, all zhuzhed up with a new battery and so forth into the hands of a domestic violence sufferer, how does that help?
So in domestic violence, a lot of people, and I included, thought domestic violence meant someone getting hit. And we get a lot of reports back to identify stories where the victim says, I wish my partner just hit me because no one will believe my story, because there's coercive control, there's financial control, there's all sorts of tactics used in domestic violence to control a victim. One of the biggest things is the phone is monitor, tracked, or taken. So it isolates the victim. So as domestic violence increases, and it's said it's 8 or 9 occurrences before victims get the confidence and support to leave. But through that, the violence is normally increasing, and the isolation is also increasing because the perpetrator knows if they can isolate that victim, they've got total control.
Mm-hmm.
So with us, it's we give the mobile phones for free to any police station, safe house, hospital, or agency that needs them. They provide them to the victim through this planning, the escape planning. So the victim has got a device hidden that they know they can use to keep in contact with the support and plan their escape, work out when they're going to do it, how they're going to do it. Have they got a bag packed with a friend? Like how just logistically, what about the kids, pets, belongings, financial stuff? So they use our phone as part of this, secret way of getting this plan together. Because if they leave that house with their primary phone, 99% of the cases, the perpetrator is tracking them. So if they turn up at a safe house, for example, the first thing a safe house will say to that victim is, do you have a phone on you that your partner knows about? And if the answer is yes, they say you need to shut that thing down right now because you could expose this location and everyone else here as well could be in danger. So the safe houses will hand them one of our phones if they don't already have one. And the beautiful thing is our phones, they're a gift. We never need them back. It's for people to keep. It's part of their new life.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting phones that are iPhone 7s up to iPhone 13s. So, $900 phones are coming in regularly, which we regularly give out.
Mm-hmm.
We try and get the best quality phones out first. And it really depends on what comes in for us. So that's how the safe phone works.
Awesome. It sounds like then that obviously getting a phone that is reasonably new, I guess, but in terms of the age of or whatever, the iPhone 9 or 10 or 11, and up would be incredible for you guys. So how can the Independent Finance Brokers Forum, and for that matter, any and everyone in the finance industry, how can we help you achieve your goal of getting phones into the hands of domestic violence sufferers?
There's 2 really easy ways. It's phones and funds. That's it. That's all we need. We can do the rest. So if people know of fleets of phones or they're connected with the industry who manufactures phones or resells phones, we would love any handsets we can get. And we can make the decision of whether or not we can use them. So we might use them for parts if they're completely locked up or damaged. And we will recycle anything we can't use. So we've already sent over 2.5 tons of e-waste to Mobile Muster. And they give us the certification that anything they get, the data will be destroyed through their recycling process. So at least if we get a phone that's still got data on it, if we haven't already got into it and cleared it and used it, the data will be destroyed through that recycling process. That's the phones. And with the funds, it's literally any assistance. So it can be a single donation. So any donation over $2 is fully tax deductible here in Australia. We have our DGR1 status. And the give back we can do is the ESG component. So anyone who's in a corporate or an environment that needs some ESG recognition, whether it be officially or the board members are asking for it or the shareholders, then our program is really good because it is so measurable. So every phone that comes in is a phone diverted from landfill. And if we get the phone working, that's not only save that phone from landfill, but it's reusing that phone and saving a life. So we've already been mentioned as a case study in ANZ's most recent ESG supplement, which is a 90-page document in itself. So we're mentioned there as that. We've got videos of where Tabcorp have done volunteer days, where they've done women in tech across their environment, and we've come in and done some presentations with them. So we've got a lot of good stories now that we can reshare and show. ASIC have gone out publicly and talked about their support of us. In fact, it was one of their best trending LinkedIn posts they've done. They had over 1,000 likes and shares on there, which is way more than what they normally get, because obviously their topic can be a little bit dry. So and that's great for us. It's a win-win. If we get phones and funds and an organization gets a whole lot of kudos and can use it in their ESG reports, happy days. That's great.
Yeah. That is good. That is good. So for the IFBF and for brokers, I guess there's probably a couple different ways that they could get funds that they were going to otherwise recycle or possibly destroy or throw away to DV Safe Phone. One way I know of, because I've seen the little box in my local shopping center, there are boxes at various locations. I believe you can go to your website to find those locations. If you just wanted to go there, drop the phone in one of the DV Safe Phone boxes, they will get to you. And then they could also come to an IFBF meeting and give me or give our steering committee the phone, and we can obviously get that to you, or get it into a box. Probably would be the easiest way to do that. Is that probably the best couple of ways to get you phones?
Yeah, definitely. We've, like I said, on our website, there's a map of over, I think it's 1,200 locations now across the country. So there will be some place near anybody watching this. If it's a corporate, you can send all the phones in one lot to us, and that way we can absolutely identify them and give you back the report that we've received all them. We can even use that in socials. Every phone we get, we track. So we know the IMEI numbers. Where we can get into the phone, we'll get the IMEI numbers out, and we'll know the journey of that phone and what police station or safe house or hospital it ended up at. So we really do take this very seriously, and we know we're potentially saving lives with every phone that leaves our office.
Well, I dare say you probably are saving lives with every phone that goes out of your office. And certainly, we've discussed this before in the finance industry. We do like our tech and tend to roll that over every few years. So for any mortgage broker, financial planner, anyone in the finance game that's watching this, if you are contemplating getting a new phone or you have gotten a new phone, please give some very serious consideration to getting it in my hands, getting it in the hands of the IFBF, or going and finding a DV Safe Phone box to put that phone in and get it into the hands of somebody that really could benefit from that. Ash, it's been amazing talking to you. Go to the website. I'll make sure that gets up in this little vignette that we've done, and go to DV Safe Phone if you want to make a donation to that. I'm sure they will accept any amount of money that you would be happy to give. And of course, the main thing is phones. Get your used phones that you weren't going to recycle or whatever into our hands. Any final words, Ash?
No, just thank you very much for your support, PJ. It's coming to the end of financial year, so now's a good time to donate anyway.
Yep, absolutely. Perfect time to do it. Well, I appreciate you spending some time with me. Really appreciate that. Keep all the good work up.
Thank you so much.